Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Alpa Sharma, and today I've got a session for you on how to analyze your mocks effectively so that you can increase your scores tremendously. Trust me on this. If you take the learnings from this session, you can efficiently improve your score without actually a lot of hassle. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible to everyone. Good afternoon, Moviz, Nikita, Nimish. I hope you can hear and see me absolutely clearly. Good afternoon, Vaibhav. I'm doing absolutely good, and I'm very happy to bring this class for you because I'm sure you're going to be benefited a lot through it. Yes, I'm clearly visible and audible. The app as well, I hope. Yes. So before I start off with the whole idea of how to analyze a mock and why do we need to analyze a mock, or rather, why do we need to take a mock as well? Let me take you through a few things. If you're targeting CUCET for 2022, we've got a champion course that we've recently launched. So if getting into the topmost universities of the country is your target, sit for this examination, enroll yourself for this course right away and don't waste your time on anything else. Apart from that, if you're targeting NPAT, SET, GGSI, CUCET, Christ University, and Xavier's examinations, if these BBA entrance examinations and colleges are your target, then we've got a BBA ranker course that we've launched for you. The enrollments have already started on from 14th of January. So if you're going to be late, you're going to miss out on a lot of things. Do not be late. अभी ही enroll कर लो because इन सबके examinations में आपके पास बिल्कुल भी time नहीं बचा है. If you are targeting IPMAT and BYJU'S for 2022, then we've got batch 3 that we've recently launched on 18th of January. You can call our counselors on this number and enroll yourself right away at the earliest. Don't wait because ये batch की classes बहुत जल्दी निकल रही हैं. You know we bring free series for you every day on our channel. क्या schedule होता है? Every day at 4 p.m. हम logical reasoning की series लेके आते हैं, which Rohindip ma'am takes on our channel. Every day at 2 p.m. हम GK की free series लेके आते हैं that Salik sir takes, and every day at 12:30 p.m. हम इंग्लिश क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग की सीरीज लेके आते हैं जो मैं अल्पा शर्मा आई टेक इट, और एवरी डे एट 11 a.m. हम मैथ्स की फ्री सीरीज लेके आते हैं जो अंकुर सर लेते हैं. तो ये फ्री सीरीज मिस नहीं करनी है. मिस नहीं करनी है. कैसे मिस नहीं करोगे? सब्सक्राइब करोगे चैनल को राइट अवे सो दैट यू डोंट मिस आउट ऑन एनी ऑफ द सीरीज, एंड शेयर करोगे इन वीडियोस को एट द मैक्सिमम सो दैट everybody around you who you think is struggling with mocks in this course is benefited at the most. Our star faculty is the best of the industry. आपको पता है सब, आप सबको आप जानते हो. रोहिंदीप मैम, राबिया मैम, सालिक सर, विनोद सर और अंकुर सर. तो इनसे पढ़ना है तो जल्दी से एनरोल कर लो. ओके, सो स्नेहा, यू न्यू हियर. ओके, ऑलराइट. तो स्नेहा, मैंने आपको फ्री सीरीज बता दी जो फ्री सीरीज होती है यहाँ पे, और उसके लिए सब्सक्राइब कर लो चैनल को. नीचे देखो सब्सक्राइब का आइकन होगा, नहीं तो आप बहुत सारी क्लासेस मिस कर दोगे. ठीक है ना. आफ्टर टॉकिंग अबाउट जो भी क्लासेस होती हैं, एवरी डे बहुत सारी क्लासेस होती है. आई एम श्योर आप सारी क्लासेस अटेंड करते हो, एवरीवन हु जॉइन मी राइट नाउ. ओके, तो टेस्ट सीरीज कब आएगी? टेस्ट सीरीज इज ऑलरेडी, इट हैज ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड. गिरिराज, are you already an enrolled student? Because if you are, you can easily access them. Okay, now let me start with the whole idea of this session. ठीक है, सबसे पहले let's discuss why does one need to take mock tests. If you've been regular with me in the last 2 days, Mondays and Tuesdays की classes अगर आपने मेरी attend करी थी, I had focused a lot on test taking, because if you prepare a lot and you don't actually work on analysis, then you would not know exactly where you're standing. And rather, if you don't work on test taking before analysis, if you don't take tests, you would not be able to evaluate your own performance. You would not know if you're working in the right direction or not. There's one obvious question that comes to every mind right now is that, ma'am, if my course is not done, should I be taking mocks because I would not know anything? My answer, you all know, is an absolute yes. You still need to take sectional tests. You still need to take mocks, even if your course is not done. There are 2 reasons for that, I will state. The first reason is there is practically no course. Do you think we'll be able to finish off entire vocabulary till the exam ends? Do you think we'll be able to look at every single kind of mathematical question till the examination comes? Do you think you'll be able to do the entire GK till the examination comes? No, it's vast. So practically, there's no course. 2, if you are working in the right direction or not. How would you know that without even taking a test, without even sitting for a test where other people have also taken the same test and they've scored a mark there? So without test taking, you would not be able to realize if you're working in the right direction or not. So where you can't speak to me or other teachers in the class कि मैम क्या मैं सही कर रहा हूँ, the mocks and the tests will tell you बेटा तुम सही कर रहे हो या तुम सही नहीं कर रहे हो. And for that, the analysis of the mock becomes supremely important. A lot of people struggle with improvement in their scores. They're not able to improve their scores because they don't analyze their mocks properly. I'll tell you how to analyze them and how to draw conclusions. What conclusions could you draw from every mock that will help you improve your scores in the next tests that you take? All right. So I hope it is absolutely clear why is it very, very important for you to sit for tests, sit for mocks. All right. So it will also along with that prepare you for the actual examination. पता है बहुत सारे बच्चे, आप में से बताओ मुझे, how many of you struggle with actually while you're sitting in a mock, there is a clock ticking and you're panicking and you're marking a lot incorrect because you're panicking because of the timer going on. How many of you face this problem? How many of you are scared that I might ruin my mock because you are actually worried about the time that's running out? You struggle with it. How many of you face this problem? Let me see that. Let me see how many of you struggle with that. In the app, Raj, do you struggle with it? Neha is the one. Nikita is the one. Yes. Vaibhav also is the one. Yes, I know that happens. I'll tell you a simple fundamental that works here. The fundamental that works here is there's an actual examination that's going to happen in 2022 that you're targeting, right? But if you practice enough, if you take multiple tests, multiple mocks, and trust me, what I say comes from a lot of years of experience teaching thousands and thousands of kids over the last 12 years that I've been teaching. While you sit for mocks, while you sit for time-bound tests, you take so many mocks that sitting for the actual examination will feel like just another mock that you are taking. You have practiced so much of time-bound tests, sitting for those 2 hours, 2.5, 3 hours, whatever exam that you're targeting, 1.5, 2 hours. Mostly examinations are for 2 hours. So if you sit for those 2 hours without pausing your mock, every time when you sit for a test, don't pause it, remember, because once you pause it, you ruin the entire paper. Sit for that paper for those 2 hours. Initial 3, 4 marks possibly are going to be ruined. But your body will be accustomed to it. The headaches that you get are going to be vanishing away. The pressure that you get is going to be vanishing away. Your body needs to be acclimatized. Your mind needs to be acclimatized to the test taking, to the time ticking, to the countdown going down, to sitting for those 2 hours looking into the screen and straining your eyes. Take so many mocks that you're just not scared of it anymore. That's the best methodology, and that comes as a trainer who has trained thousands of students. That comes from the mouth of the toppers as well. If you ask them how many mocks they've taken, they would answer 18, 19, 100. It was just another mock they were sitting for in the actual examination. So, कैसा environment होता है, क्या क्या struggle होती है, हम सब struggle बीच कर सकते हैं जब हम practice करते हैं तो आज से one thing, take your mocks very sincerely. They are an inevitable part of your preparation. Got this? और मोबिस ये इसीलिए होता है बिकॉज आप प्रेशर में होते हो, तो इतने मार्क्स लेने हैं that you just don't struggle with it anymore. They train your mind to sit for those 2 hours and don't not panic. All right. Now I am going to let's understand how to analyze. So once you sit for a mock at our portal, BYJU'S Exam Prep BBA, the portal that we provide you with will give you some analysis. Okay. So I've got some analysis here. Let's figure out how do we do that. Okay. सबसे पहले let's look at a CUCET paper, okay? Now, English roughly had 20 questions, all right? An ideal attempt, understand what I'm trying to explain here. The ideal attempt that you should be doing should be 12 to 13 at least, right? More the better. But initially when people start solving this section, they're not able to mark more than 8, 9. And when you mark 8, 9, it does not mean you get all 8, 9 correct. That's the average trend that we see from our mock takers. Look at reasoning maybe. In CUCET, you've got roughly 15 to 20 questions. The ideal attempt is 12 to 13. Again, 9 to 10 is only that people initially in the first or the first 2 mocks, people are able to mark. In those 9, 10, you may be getting maybe 3 incorrect, or maybe 4 incorrect, and with every incorrect, 1/4 mark is deducted. So total of 100 questions, if you have, ideal attempt is 70 to 80, but the initial mocks you would not be able to mark a 40 to 50 or more than that because you are a learner right now. So if you are panicking that you're not able, your first mock was ruined, your second mock you are demotivated, don't be. Because it's a normal trend with every student. It's an average score that we've taken out. It's a normal trend. So it shouldn't bother your mind. Everybody does that. Okay? So everybody does it. It shouldn't matter. Just make sure that you are consistent. Okay? That you are consistent and you keep doing that and you learn. What do you learn? कि मैंने 8, 9 मार्क किया तो मैं इस आइडियल अटेम्प्ट पे कैसे पहुंचूं? How do I reach that ideal attempt? Or maybe more than that. That is what we're going to work on today. So don't worry. Let's look at another example. Simple. IPMAT. In verbal ability, you've got 30 questions. Ideal 22 to 26. But initially in the first few mocks, people would mark only 15 to 18 at max out of 30. Only 50% people would mark. Out of those 50%, they would get some wrong as well and then incorrect score. So देखो total of 60 marks में से लोग initially सिर्फ 30 questions तक mark करते हैं. तो अगर आपका first few mocks में scores कम है, ये normal है. ये सबके साथ होता है. इसमें disheartened होने की need है? Absolutely नहीं है. बिल्कुल भी नहीं है. अब इस 25 से 30 पे हम 40 to 50 कैसे पहुंचेंगे? ये हमको figure out करना है. ये methodology हमको figure out करनी है. Got this everyone? Yes. वैभव के साथ भी यही होता है. Yes. Sneha, are you an enrolled student? If you are, you'll get those marks on our platform. Okay? So Abhinav, आया समझ में? सबके साथ होता है. मुझे पता है बच्चे ये एवरेज स्कोर तभी तो निकला है क्योंकि आप सबके साथ होता है. ऑलराइट, चलिए अब देखते हैं आगे. हम जैसे सिमिलरली इपमैट में भी देखिए 120 में से लोग सिर्फ 50 to 60 मार्क कर पाते हैं इनिशियल फ्यू मार्क्स में. तो इससे की टेक अवे क्या हुआ हमारा? It's natural, it's normal to score lesser when you've just started taking marks. It's normal. And there can be huge variations from what you actually attempt to what you actually get correct. बहुत सारे incorrect mark कर दोगे आप क्योंकि आपको आता नहीं है, आप पढ़ रहे हो, नए questions है आपके लिए. तब करना क्या है? Let's move on that. How to improve? How to make sure that that score reaches to ideal attempt and not the average attempt. So my plan divided into 3 sections: self-evaluation, relative evaluation and conclusion. क्या है self-evaluation? क्या है relative evaluation? क्या conclusion है जो आप draw कर सकते हो? एक-एक करके समझते हैं, ठीक है? सबसे पहले देखते हैं self-evaluation. I would recommend all of you now onwards when you take a mock, make a note in the Excel sheet or in a diary. So maybe आपके पास एक छोटी सी ऐसे डायरी आप रख लो, ठीक है? छोटी सी डायरी में just a minute, open a blank page, ठीक है? Make a grid बना लो. Grid looks like this, that's on the screen. उसमें section डालो. So for example VA, QT, GK, कितने questions आए थे? 30. कितने मार्क किए? 15. 15 में से कितने करेक्ट हुए? 10. तो वो 5 के नेगेटिव स्कोर मिला के कितना आपका स्कोर आया? हर मॉक में आपको ये ऐसा करना है, हर मॉक के लिए. सो मॉक 1, मॉक 2, मॉक 3, जितने भी आप मॉक लेंगे ये सारे आप नोट करेंगे. व्हेन यू नोट देम, दैट्स हाउ यू विल बी एबल टू evaluate, compare your scores. Can you make this grid, everybody? Yes. Now, Ayushi, that's a very good question. Which topic should I start? Verbal ability? Ayushi, right now you can start with vocabulary and grammar. But the point is, which section should I start taking a mock with? ये भी एक क्वेश्चन आता है. ये कितने लोग स्ट्रगल करते हैं? कौन से सेक्शन से स्टार्ट करें, कौन सा सेक्शन एंड में ले? How many of you struggle with this? वेरी गुड वैभव, ऐसे भी आप कर सकते हो. एक्सेल में बनाओ या फिर अपने नोटबुक में बनाओ. अब मुझे ये बताओ, आप में से ये कितने लोग इस पे स्ट्रगल करते हैं कि पहले कौन सा सेक्शन लेना चाहिए, एंड में कौन सा सेक्शन लेना चाहिए, क्या सेक्शन टू सेक्शन जंप करना चाहिए? ये कितने लोग स्ट्रगल करते हैं? रिया स्ट्रगल्स? यस. Yes, Ayushi, yes, okay. Ma'am, as I've told that I'm new today, so please tell me what I've missed until nothing. एक बार पहले ये समझ लो, ठीक है? Then I'll tell you आपको और क्या चीजें करनी है, okay? मैम, अब से ऐसा ही करूंगी, good, ठीक है? अब देखो, before I move ahead and tell you exactly how is the evaluation supposed to be done, please share my video right away. If you're able to understand what I'm explaining, could you share it right away? I need more people live right now. That it's a more interactive class so that you know that what I'm saying is worth it. Please share it right away. Share it to everybody you know who's preparing for any competitive examination. Do me this little favor. That's my Guru Dakshina that I demand from you. And send me a done when you're done. When you're done sharing, just send me a done. I'll have a sip of water and then I'll continue with how to evaluate relatively and how to draw conclusions and what section to take before the other. Vaibhav, that is exactly how you're supposed to do. जब आप एक मॉक लेने बैठते हो, the first thing that you need to do is 2 minutes. Look at the paper. Look at the kind of questions that have come. Once you've looked at the kind of questions that have come, make a strategy. Okay, this is how I'm going to sit for the paper. And then start taking the mock. Never start with the first section that comes in front of you. Or rather, the first question that it comes in front of you. So, make a plan for every mock that you take. It may vary. And your strategy also varies from person to person. कैसे vary करता है बताती हूँ. But सबसे पहले, thank you Nikita. Let us quickly go and look at self-evaluation में करना क्या है. Once you've listed down all the topics, all the questions, mark the questions that you've got wrong. Mark the questions that you skipped because you did not know how to solve them. Identify those questions. Resolve the questions that you have gotten wrong. Resolve the questions that you've skipped. Revisit the chapters and the topics you were not comfortable with. Memorize all the vocabulary and GK that was new to you that you did not know. Can you do these things after every mock? Identify the mistakes. Identify the questions you got wrong. You believe you're marking right, but you got them wrong. Work on the vocabulary and GK that you did not know. Memorize that. And since you've already done the question once, memorizing it would be easier this time rather than starting with organic content. Revisit the chapters that you had done, but you got the answers wrong this time in the mock. Revise those chapters. Easier for you to revise it then and there. Otherwise, you'll forget everything. Do it after every, I'll mark it in bold, single mock you take. That's your evaluation. So, after you evaluate your performance, we come down to your relative evaluation. But relative से पहले एक बात याद रखना, आपको हर मॉक में फर्स्ट 2 मॉक्स को छोड़ के थर्ड मॉक से you need to identify 2 sections that you are good with. So whatever sections come in the examinations, identify. जहां 4 sections आते हैं वहां 2 section identify करो. जहां 2 sections आते हैं वहां 1 section identify करो. जहां आप अच्छे हो, which is your strength. Why do we need to do that? Because हम एक balance बनाते हैं. किसमें balance बनाते हैं? Things that are good और things that are weak. Good को और अच्छा करना है, weak को mediocre लेके आना है. एक balance बनाना है इसको. Balance तभी बनेगा जब आपको पता लगेगा कि ये मेरा strength है, मैं इस पे डिपेंडेंट हूं मेरे स्कोर्स के लिए, वीक पे डिपेंडेंट नहीं हूं. ऑल राइट. Thus, I have to identify what are my strength and what are my weakness. Yes. All right. So here we go. You identify two sections that you're weak with and the other sections that you are strong. स्ट्रेंथ पे काम करना है, इंप्रूवमेंट करना और उसी पे डिपेंडेंसी रखनी है अपने मॉक के स्कोर्स के लिए. नाउ गेटिंग बैक टू एवरी मॉक, मैंने आपको बोला था 1 2 3 तीनों मॉक्स का आपने डेटा लिख लिया. यहाँ मेरे 60 आए, यहाँ मेरे 65 आए, यहाँ मेरे फिर से 60 आ गए. क्या एनालिसिस निकलती है इससे? कंपेयर योर स्कोर. See if your score is increasing. If it is increasing, good, you're at the right track. But if it is not increasing, then you have not been doing these. You've not been working on the wrong questions. You've not been revising the chapters. You've not been memorizing all vocabulary and GK. That means the effort that you're taking is not moving in the right direction. Your scores should increase. That's what your self-evaluation teaches you about your mocks. Now, ma'am, what is the good score for the first mock? It's irrelevant. Even if you score a 50%, I am extremely happy. It is irrelevant. Trust me, Prerit, I'm sorry. The first 2 mocks, 3 mocks scores do not matter. What matters is your improvement after that. Your last examination score matters. So whatever your score is in the first 2 mocks, it's indifferent. Remember that. कोई भी ideal score नहीं होता. First mock का people perform really bad, which is okay because it's your first mock. आपको पता भी नहीं था mock लेना कैसे है. अब आते हैं relative evaluation में. Relative evaluation कैसे करते हैं? Relative evaluation means आपका performance in comparison to other people's mock. That too, not score, but your percentile. परसेंटाइल क्यों मैटर करती है? स्कोर्स मैटर करने चाहिए. मेरे 60 आए, टॉपर के 100 आए, तो मेरे भी 100 आने चाहिए ना. लेकिन वो मैटर नहीं करता, आपका परसेंटाइल मैटर. क्यों मैटर करता है? कहाँ स्टैंड करते हो आप? देखो कैसे. सिंपल, एक ग्रिड देखो, एक एनालिसिस देखो. इफ यू टोटल 200 kids took the mock, you got a 16 rank, but your percentile was 92. सिर्फ 50 लोगों ने मॉक लिया, रैंक बेटर हो गई, 7 आ गई, बट परसेंटाइल घट गया. परसेंटाइल डिपेंड करता है कितने बच्चों ने मॉक लिया है. तो अगर ज्यादा बच्चे मॉक लेंगे और अगर आपकी रैंक 16 आ गई तो वो भी एक अच्छी रैंक मानी जाएगी. बट 50, अच्छा 10 में से आपकी रैंक 7 आ गई तो क्या वो अच्छी रैंक है? परसेंटाइल आपकी 60 से भी कम आएगी. So your percentile matters a lot. Remember, pay attention to the percentile that you get. Aim for a higher percentile. Aim for a 95 plus percentile. That's when you'll be sure you are at the right place. In the competition, it's not an individual examination, it's a competition. So remember, in the competition, your rank is not an absolute score. Your percentile is. It depends on the difficulty level. It also depends on the number of people who've taken the mock. Make sense, everyone? So, क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट्स वेरी कर जाते हैं, बिल्कुल होंगे. क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट्स वेरी करते हैं. आइडेंटिफाई करो वैभव क्यों वेरी करते हैं वो. While you analyze your mock, you need to identify why does it vary. Okay? So, that's what you need to do. Evaluate your performance relatively with other people looking at the percentile. Your percentile's aim needs to be a 95 plus in the mocks. That's when you'll be rest assured you are at a good position. Now, how do we draw conclusions कि मैं कहाँ stand करता हूँ, मुझे क्या करना है मेरे mocks के score को improve करने के लिए. Be very careful whatever I explain here. Once you are done with jotting down your mock scores, evaluating your mock scores, looking at your percentile in comparison to other people, we draw certain conclusions. I'll give you examples about certain conclusions that you draw. One conclusion, my mock scores increased or did not increase. Again, make a grid of something like this in your notebook or your phone. Example, देखो क्या क्या चीजें आपकी notes हो सकती हैं. I lost attention while doing a DI set. I could not recall the formula. I need to work on that. हर mock की immediately बाद अपना input देखो और जब आप comparative evaluation करते हो तो उसका input भी डालो. I did more incorrect in VA. Could happen. Quantitative में जैसे accuracy lowest हुई हमारी overall में, VA में accuracy lowest हुई, maths में accuracy lowest हुई, overall attempts second highest of all marks, very good. Attempts तो highest है, लेकिन अगर ज्यादा negative कर दिया तो I need to work on my negative, reduce my attempts because I'm getting more incorrect. अगर आपके 70% accuracy आ जाती है, you are at a good place. अगर आपकी accuracy 70% से कम है, you need to reduce your attempts. So that's how you make your notes in the same Excel sheet or in the same notebook. इसी में evaluate those questions or that vocabulary that you did not know, that GK that you did not know, memorize that. Same notebook में, keep doing that. And remember, जो भी आपका here it is, आपका जो भी section है जो आप beginning में लेते थे, remember, आपका section that you need to take in the beginning or in the end, it depends completely on you. I'll give you examples why it depends completely on you. So some people start with their strength and then they move on to their weakness. So that if you don't have time, you leave the section that you're not comfortable with. Strategy can work. Some people start with GK because that does not take a lot of time. And a big chunk can easily be covered up in the first 10 minutes and then you can move on to the lengthier questions. Some people leave GK for the end because they think वो तो 10 मिनट में ऐसे भी हो जाएगी, तो वो मैं लास्ट में कर सकता हूँ. सबकी स्ट्रैटेजी अलग होती है. आपकी स्ट्रैटेजी आप जब तक 10 मार्क्स नहीं लोगे, आप आइडेंटिफाई नहीं कर सकते. So to be able to make a foolproof strategy that works for you, I would recommend you take 10 tests and then understand, okay, this is what works for me. This is how I begin with. One thing that I can certainly suggest to you is don't skip between sections. आप English करके GK कर लिया, फिर English पे आ गए, you'll mess up. So don't leave sections incomplete and then come back to it. Finish a section, keep it aside, and then move on to the next section. Usually, doing mixing sections, it messes up with the entire mock. So don't do that. All right? I hope the entire idea of how to take a mock, how to evaluate it, how to analyze makes sense for you. Make sure you save this video and feel free to come back to this video whenever you think you are still struggling with the analysis. Come back to my video, watch it again, make the Excel again, and then evaluate what's going wrong with my mocks. What is the thing that I'm still struggling with? One assurance that I can give you, you work through this methodology for coming 3 mocks. You'll come back to me and thank me about it. I hope this makes sense for everyone. All the very best for your next mock. And come back and tell me if it helped you or not. I'm ready to answer questions that are there in your mind. Any questions, anybody? Any questions? All right. Any more questions, anybody? Cool, makes sense, everything makes sense. All right, I don't think there are any more questions then. For people who are new, who did not see the previous videos, when you go to our homepage, BYJU'S Exam Prep BPIPM, you'll find the pre-recorded videos. Okay, start off with the current ones first and then gradually go back and start watching the previous videos on whatever thing that you're struggling with. That's how you cover up the missed course. All right, I shall see you again tomorrow at 12:30. Absolutely, yes, Arvind, you can. You can absolutely start from the basic. You still have time, but make sure you start right away and don't be delayed, because the more delayed you are, the more things you're going to miss out on. It needs practice. Start right away. Okay, I'm going to see you all again at 12:30 tomorrow. मैं मॉक देते माइंड पता नहीं कहाँ चला जाता है. Okay, वैभव, जब ऐसा होता है ना, I would suggest move to an easier question. जैसा आपको आता है, वापस उस डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन पे आ जाओ. इजी क्वेश्चन होता है तो कॉन्फिडेंस गेन होता है, माइंड वापस आ जाएगा ट्रैक पे. इफ दैट हैपेंस विथ यू. पैसेज के बारे में सोचने लगता हूं. अच्छा, आप क्योंकि क्लैट टारगेट कर रहे हो वैभव, दैट्स व्हाई इट्स फुल ऑफ पैसेज. वर्क, चूज अ पैसेज दैट यू आर कंफर्टेबल विद. जब आप माइंड आपका डेविएट होता है विद डिफिकल्ट पैसेजेस, Come back to a simpler passage. Do that. And then you can go back to the difficult one. All right? Do it this way. Okay? So, I hope everything's clear to everyone. I shall see you again at 12:30 tomorrow. Have a very, very good day, everyone. And God bless all of you. And first mock में rank compare करना जरूरी है क्या? बिल्कुल है. Rank नहीं, percentile तरुण. Percentile जरूरी है. Rank बिल्कुल जरूरी नहीं है. Rank variable होता है according to the number of people who sit for the mock. Okay? Alright. I don't think there are any more questions. Bye everyone. See you tomorrow again at 12:30. Make sure you like the video, share the video with everybody and subscribe to the channel. Thank you everybody. Have a very, very good day.